Welcome to Andorks, everyone, the podcast where every week we'll analyze and scrutinize the Star Wars series Andor, 7 minutes at a time. My name is Rusteen Honardoost.
I'm Alex Wolinetz.
And previously on Andorks, Cassian killed 2 corpos and ran away to the scrappy planet of
Do you want
Ferrix.
to introduce what the podcast is?
I did.
You didn't say the 7 minutes.
I did. The podcast where every week we'll analyze it.
I was looking at my notes.
It's okay. Previously
on
Andorks. Cassian Cassian killed 2 corpos and ran away to the scrappy planet of Ferrix, where we met his best buddy B2. And this week we're going to meet the 3 most important people in Cassian's story.
B2 emo, and B2 emo.
B2.1, B2.2, and B2.3. We're going to pick up in this episode with Andor saying hello to his big, bulky friend, Brasso.
So we're gonna open this episode with, I'm going to do a timestamp here of, where are we at? We're at
1526,
I think, is that where we ended? I thought we ended with the gates opening.
Technically, we ended with, the gates open, and Andor is looking out to Brasso, who notices that Andor does not look good.
So yeah, I want to point out maybe this should have been last week, but at 1510, there are 2 good aliens.
Yes, this should have been last week.
Yes, we could have made the episode even longer.
Oh, I see that.
There's
now.
like a crab guy on the left.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to describe this dude on the right. He's sort of got like some gills and a big hat.
He kind of looks like...
He looks like he's made out of wood.
There is the Pike Syndicate, is a group of alien criminals. It's one of the criminal underworlds. It kind of looks like a Pike Syndicate helmet. I don't think it is, but it might be the same type of alien.
That's not his face?
No, that's clearly a helmet.
I think that's his face.
I think that's a helmet.
Well, it's not. It's
got like pipes coming out of it. And he's got like a thing on his back. I think that's maybe some kind of like breathing apparatus.
Okay. So, one of the things I'll bring about is that there was not a lot of good aliens in the show. Why is he throwing these away in like a 2-second shot?
I think...
Why are they not the focus? I want to know more about these guys.
They don't look like they have that much articulation is most likely the reason why. They probably look best, walking by the screen in half focus.
Just sort of hobbling by. I love them.
I think the intention of including these characters in the backgrounds of these sequences is to help show how diverse and kind of multicultural Ferrix is, especially in contrast to the more hegemonous, in contrast to how ordinary, in contrast to how ordinary the and human-centric the Empire is.
Yeah, but this guy on the left seems to be having a panic attack.
I think he just walks like that. I think he's
falling down. He seems to be like, yeah.
He's a classic freak, okay? You were complaining about the lack of freaks.
Right,
but
and when I see them, I'm going to spend a lot of time focusing on them, even if they have 3 seconds of screen time.
Even if those 3 seconds were in last week's episode.
To all our fans who wrote, why do you not cover the 2 aliens?
This is our corrections. Consider this our formal apology. We'll post a Notes app apology on whatever social media accounts we have along with this platform.
Is there resources to get the names of those guys?
No, they don't have names. That's what I'm saying. Like, Wikipedia has a lot of information, but until somebody does, like, from a certain point of view for Andor, we're never going to get to see, like,
but there's got to be some
internal
eternal name for them.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, if I worked at Lucas, like, at Lucasfilms, they have
Sure.
a name for that guy somewhere.
Yeah, you'd have
I
to
need to
steal
find
that.
the names.
That is all trade secrets. They're not going to just put that out there. You'd have to go, like in Rogue One, to Scarif and find that information on a hard drive and steal it away.
And I will do that. I will get the name of these guys.
Disney's never going to invite us to go visit them because they're just going to be worried we're going to steal the names of these two freaks.
I have to. His name is Frank.
You can name him. Do you want to name him Frank?
No.
I think we should name the freaks that don't have names.
Okay, let's name. Let's. No, I don't think he's not a Frank. He's a little too high. He's a little too high class to be Frank. I'm gonna go with, I think the guy on the left is Jebediah.
Okay.
I think he's got a little class to him.
Jebediah, and I think since he has like gills, it should be like Jebediah Gilco. That's my pitch.
Gilco?
Yeah.
There it
Again,
is.
because it's double
Jebediah,
consonant.
it needs a Star Wars name. Jebediah's not a Star Wars name. It's got to be like Jebed.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just drop the IAH. It's
Jebed Gilco.
Jebed Gilco.
I
And
love
then
it.
the other guy is. Well, we'll start with an English name, a normal name.
Well, I think we already did normal name. I think this guy, he's kind of like insect. He kind of seems like he has like a bit of an insect look to him. So I would want to start with an insect, maybe some kind of beetle. That's my pitch.
I feel like he's more of like a. I'm not an etymologist. Why am I like a praying mantis?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So we can go with Manti,
Yeah.
and then he's maybe wearing a mask.
I think
not.
maybe just Manti.
Just Manti.
Yeah.
Manti.
Yeah, Manti. Exactly.
MANN space T, or an apostrophe TI.
Yeah. MANN apostrophe TY.
TY, not TI. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
It's written down.
There we go. We did it.
Well, now we need to go back to episode 2 and name
The big gorilla guy.
The big gorilla guy.
We can retcon this now. Let's do this now before, because you're just going to be thinking about it the rest of the episode. If we don't do
and
this
there's also
right
some
now.
aliens in the opening scene too.
We're not going that far back. We can come up with bits as we're going through. We
Okay.
don't have to then splice them into previous episodes.
When we do the entire show and we come back to episode, when we finish, we'll go through episode 1 again.
Yeah,
and name
exactly.
them.
We can
Everyone did send names
do
to
it
listen
right.
to the entire thing.
Yeah.
But we need to name the big gorilla guy from Ferric. Because he is in the scene, just split up.
Again, I think he looks like an alien, the Ripley in the body armor suit in Aliens. So my pitch is we start with Ripley.
Okay, but he's got to have a Bumble. He does look like he's killed Bumblebee and is wearing his skin.
Rippleby.
Rippleby. No, Rippleby is like a Victorian era novel character. Jane Austen fell in love with Mr. Rippleby.
Mr. Rippleby. You get lost in his eyes. I get lost in this guy's eyes. He looks like he'd give a good hug.
Well, he would squish you.
Yeah.
It
Put me out of my misery, please.
Well, I feel like maybe he is a Rippleby. That's not his name, though. That could be his alien. He's
That's
a
his
Rippleby.
alien species, exactly.
God, this is fascinating audio for anyone listening to it. Why don't you go with Rippy?
Rippy. Yeah, there we
Rippy.
go.
No,
I love it. Let's come back to this. You can percolate on it.
Like coffee, I'm going to percolate. Okay, back on track as we've now...
Because we do need to say hello to 3 very important characters today. First is Brasso, who is played by Joplin Sibtain.
Named after Janis Joplin. I looked it up. No,
Wait,
not
really?
not a joke.
Oh, wow. I never would have expected that. He does not look like a Janis Joplin.
No, according to his Wikipedia, at least, it's
That's amazing.
mother named him after Janis Joplin.
Wow.
He also goes by Chuk Sibtain.
I saw that one. That's a great name.
I mean, Chuk Sibtain is a Star Wars name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brasso is...
Brasso.com. Sorry, Brassos.
Brassos.com. He is a real big guy, dressed in, the typical Ferrix workwear. And Andor is waiting for him outside of the workplace.
God, I want him to hug me so badly.
He looks like he gives a fucking amazing hug. He looks like such a good bro.
Real unk hours.
Yeah, absolutely. He immediately picks up that something is wrong with Andor before he's even said anything. And Andor basically asks, like, hey, what did you do last night? He tells, like, the true story of what happened. But then Andor quickly says, no, actually, this is what happened. And he lays out a cover story to help explain what he was doing that wasn't killing 2 corpos last night.
He went to Club Aqua.
He went to Club Aqua, but Kim Kardashian did not. Her head did not fall off.
I promise I will stop making Club Aqua jokes. He's referring to the same thing, so we're going to talk about Club Aqua.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Brasso, you know, he's such a true homie that he even comes up with a story to explain why Andor looks so beaten up and why they're even talking this morning, where he says, you insulted my alcohol and now you've come here to apologize.
God, he rules.
He's so cool. And he implores Andor to, you know, put whatever he's done behind him and get back to work because he's worried about him making it. And he also says, you know, you also can't borrow any more money from me, which in this extremely short exchange, I think communicates to us that Brasso is a dear friend of Andor's, but also somebody who is worried about him and does not agree with all of the choices that Andor makes about how to live his life.
But he's also, like I said, he has fun uncle energy. He's like,
yeah,
I'll let you go for a little bit, but not too far.
I'm going to cover for you, but you better not do this again.
Yeah.
You better go to work tomorrow.
Then he rides away on a little metal scooter thing. How do you describe this?
It's like a people mover or something, like a little skiff.
It looks fun.
It does. And as he leaves, you know, he says, tell your mother she can afford to put the heating on. It was freezing there last night. When the first time I watched this, I thought he was making a your mom joke.
Is he not?
No, he's serious because we're going to go to Marva's house and it's so cold. Actually, throughout season 1, people are always telling Marva, it's okay, turn the heat on. And she is so frugal that she doesn't.
She's a temperature queen.
Yeah, exactly. What do you feel towards Brasso
besides
in the scene?
Besides that I love him?
Why do you love him?
I mean, first of all, the acting is incredible. Is that an actor to come in and just immediately to the audience provide this? He's the first like warm character we've met.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes, and he's introducing. I mean, I think B2 Emo also brought in some levity, but like we've had this very dark, depressing first 30 minutes, and here's a sort of jovial guy here's the guy you meet at the bar. Like there is a real. We're not getting too caught up in the high science fiction of this world. He's just a dude. He's a dude, and dudes rock.
Dudes do rock.
And Brasso rocks.
Brasso rocks. Yeah, I agree completely. He, in such a short period of time, tells you that this guy is both a good hang, but also like no nonsense. That he'll tell you exactly what he thinks, but he's also such a good friend that he will be there for you no matter what you've done wrong. You can count on Brasso. And this is exactly who Andor
clearly a
needs.
gentle lover.
Yes, clearly. You know, maybe once they had too much Revnog and explored each other's bodies.
And Revnog is not eggnog.
It is not eggnog. We did search Wikipedia to confirm that Revnog is not eggnog.
What do we think? What do you think they had? Like, which liquor is this in? Like, is it whiskey?
Yeah, I think it's whiskey.
Okay.
It looks like a whiskey to me, especially since they're drinking it
and
straight.
He made fun of his selection of whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that tracks.
It's like Fireball. He made fun of him for having Fireball.
I mean, if we want to think of like Appalachian, like, you know, a bourbon, I think makes a lot of sense for what this community would be drinking.
Feryx Moonshine.
Feryx Moonshine.
Well, I
guess
guess
that probably
they have
goes
different
hard.
moons shine. Yeah.
Each moon has their different shine.
Every moon has their own shine. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love that. After we meet Brasso, we see Andor trying to cover his tracks. We are then immediately taken over to Morlana 1's corporate security headquarters. And this is where we meet the guy who is hot on Andor's tail, Primor Deputy Inspector Syril Karn.
And we never see him again.
It would be wild. I mean, that is one of the things that, like, the first time you're watching this show, you don't know which characters are the ones who are important, which ones are the ones that are going to stick around. But I think from the moment you see Syril, you know that this
fucking freak,
this little freak is going to ruin everything. Like, as soon as you see how tight his jaw is when he's talking about
terrified
what's happened.
Superman. He's doing the Superman pose, but he looks so terrified.
Yeah, he is somebody who is clearly LARPing as an Imperial officer and wants nothing more than to be an Imperial. And nobody respects him for it.
No, I mean, if we're going to talk about the show and its relationship with current politics, he is the most, like, Trump crony coded guy in this entire show, I think.
I don't think he's full on JD Vance, but maybe he's like a
JD
Kash
Vance is
Patel.
even cooler. JD Vance is not cool, and even he is cooler than...
Yes, exactly.
Like, this guy bought the Dark MAGA hat.
Mm-hmm.
He bought the Make America Great with the stupid Gothic font.
He's bought the Trump coin, and a lot of it.
Yes.
He was certain that was going to pay off.
Also, the guy he's talking to, what's his name?
Yeah, so just to lay out the specifics of what's happening in the scene is that Syril is presenting his report to his boss, Chief Inspector Hein, and basically relaying the story of what happened to Kravas and Verlo, the fact that these two employees were found dead outside Morlana 1. And Hein is played by Rupert Vansittart, who is a Game of Thrones actor, is the place people might have seen him from before, and Syril is played by the great Kyle Soller.
Hein is basically taken out of The Wire.
Yes, exactly.
He is a momentary. We were in season 1 of The Wire, and they're talking about police ranks, and this guy is worried about making sure his numbers are correct.
Yeah, Syril says that he rushed to put this report together because before Hein leaves for an Imperial briefing, and he's clearly hoping, like, if I can get this report to Hein, when he goes and reports to the Empire, he's gonna tell them what a good job I did, and they're gonna, like, bring me up to the major leagues. Is, I think, like 100% how he thinks this is gonna go.
To hyperfixate on one moment of the show, do you want to talk about the first question that he asks Syril?
Yes. He says, Syril is so self-serious about this that he doesn't realize that as much as Syril wants his work to get the Empire to notice him, Hein wants the exact opposite. He wants to keep the Empire away. And Syril at one point says, if caring about 2 dead employees isn't worth going above and beyond, then he's not worthy to wear the uniform. And that's when Hein realizes that Karn has modified. He's like, have you modified your uniform, by the way? And Syril looks so embarrassed. He's like, perhaps slightly. Pockets, piping. And then he's like so proud of himself, he can't help but say it.
And some light tailoring.
Yeah. Just some light tailoring. Like, he wants you to know that, like, yes, I made sure this looks good on me. Everybody else does look like shit in these uniforms, as we talked about in the first.
Super tight now.
Yeah, it looks good on him. I mean, as good as it can look on people.
Yeah, it's very important to him that he is fashionable in his little looks like a denim onesie.
Yeah, absolutely. It is kind of like a bellhop outfit.
But I think to hyperfixate on one small thing, and I think the advantage of the show of being able to go really deep is that, like, the fascist obsession with clothing and imagery is such a interesting vein to draw upon. Mm-hmm. And I think throughout this, we'll talk about this more of the Nazi aesthetic of the Empire. And, well, if you put it together with George Lucas saying the Empire's America and they all look like Nazis, interesting. It's very interesting. But there's the there's sort of the long history of Nazi aesthetics being developed by like high couture fashion designers during World War II. You had Hugo Boss, Coco Chanel, Christian Dior, all working on Nazi uniforms. So Syril would fit right in with that Nazi obsessed with aesthetics.
I think he's like almost annoyed that the company doesn't care about the aesthetics as much as the real empire does. And so by modifying his uniform, he can signal how much he aspires to be a part of the empire. One thing that Kyle Solar and Tony Gilroy talk about is that they think that Syril has OCD, which I think kind of makes sense as far as how much he's obsessed over his uniform and making sure that every element is just right. He thinks that is proof, by doing this work, is proof that he deserves to be a part of the empire. He believes the empire is like a meritocracy. And if he can work hard for the Primor Corporation, then he can earn a place in the empire. And across the rest of this show, we're going to see whether or not he's right.
Which, I mean, is the promise, I guess, of most militaries. Is that if you put your effort in, you will get promoted. It's a hierarchy and there's a meritocracy to it. But we know these structures promise that when in reality they're very different.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's Joseph Goebbels. Is it Goebbels? I can never remember how to say it.
Goebbels.
It's Goebbels, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So cut it out, double it. Joseph Goebbels was part of designing of the Nazi uniform, and he wanted to make the wearer appear as tall, wide, and intimidating. And I would say that Syril is trying to do all three in this one shot of making himself taller, look wider, and more intimidating, and he is failing on all three.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's standing in that kind of like Superman pose with his arms wide around him, and he's trying to stand up as tall.
And his boss is just the schlumpiest, melting into his chair, feet up on the table, does not give a shit, just chillaxing. He's having a good time.
Well, he is about to leave for, a work trip, and he does not want to deal with this. When Syril makes his report, Hines realizes that he knows Kravas and sees how far he's fallen. He used to be corporal, I believe is what he says. What does he say? But he does say that he was one of the most miserable men he's ever worked with, which is a really fun. Yeah, he says, I knew one of these men, and Syril thinks that's like why I thought this would, warrant your immediate protection or attention. And Hines says that he was a squad commander on Morlana 4. And then Syril replies that, he's fallen a great deal since then to now be a sentry corporal here on 1.
A real fuck up.
A real fuck up. And Syril just cannot see that some people matter to the company and other people do not. He thinks that every employee of Primor is as valuable as any other employee. And it has not yet dawned on him that no one cares about these two guys. Not even, they don't have anybody who cares about them. And Syril is going to learn that in a very painful way.
Yeah, but there is sort of, in order to believe in a fascist state, you have to believe that the fascist state is hyper proficient.
Yeah.
And hyper aware and does care about all of these things at a micro level. When fascism gives off that illusion, but rarely follows up on that actual impression.
Yeah. He has joined this security team to help bring peace and order to Morlana,
which is impossible to actually achieve.
Exactly, but he sees the death of 2 employees and sees an opportunity to prove how, give me a few days and I will solve this murder for you.
But not even but I think he's taken aback of why are you not as equally concerned about this as I am? Isn't this how incredible the fascist state works? Shouldn't we be hyper aware of all of these issues?
Yeah, and instead Hein says that this is, a case of bad timing, but not that bad timing in the sense that he is leaving, but bad timing in the sense that this is not the time when they want to report that there's any crime happening in the Morlana sector.
What's the line here? It goes, were they robbed? No, sir. And then he makes the most comedic, oh, brother, face in response. That's would be broad for a 1970s sitcom.
But this performer does such a great job of carrying a weight of history on his back. Like, you just have to imagine how much bullshit he had to deal with to rise up, how much bullshit he had to eat to rise up to this level, in the same way that characters in The Wire have to eat a bunch of bullshit to become, leadership in the Baltimore police. He does have a great line where he kind of lays out the truth to Syril.
He does the Star Wars equivalent of like closing the blinds, but presses a button that closes the door.
Yeah, the technology in his office is incredible. There's like a big chunky TV with like a really low poly screen on it. And then in order to close the door, he has just like this wall of switches, and he flips one of them down and the door comes to like a decisive shut. So he can lay the truth to Syril about how this case appears to bear all the hallmarks of what I like to describe as regrettable misadventure, which means that this is a thing that happens a lot. They've got these leisure zones across Morlana where corporate employees get into mischief, and like American soldiers on a foreign base, they have to clean up the mess so that way the brass doesn't find out what's going on.
I believe, some incredible writing here. 2 dedicated Primor employees caught in the sad orbit of a rare calamity.
Yes.
This guy's a poet.
He is. In another life, if not for the Empire, he would have been the galaxy's greatest poet. But instead, he has to kind of educate Syril on all the reasons why their death is a bad look for them. Because he says they were in a brothel, which we're not supposed to have, the expensive one, which they shouldn't be able to afford, which is funny because that's signaling that there are other cheap, worse brothels out there. And they were drinking Revnog, which we're not supposed to allow. Both of them supposedly on the job, which is a dismissible offense. So, like,
in the leisure zone.
Yeah.
I went to the leisure zone and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
And then they went and harassed some guy with dark features, and they chose the wrong person to annoy. And that's how they ended up in this situation.
A little racist.
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah,
just a little
absolutely.
racist.
Like, if they thought they could get away with this, and they probably could have if they weren't so stupid. And Syril throughout this whole scene is just so tense. It looks like he's going to explode at any minute.
That's the noise he's making.
It's like in his reaction to this, like without saying anything, we can see just how strongly he feels towards like the Empire's like fascistic plans. When
he thought, when you lock the doors, I thought we were going to talk about how this is actually a like. He was expecting a different conversation to happen when the doors got closed.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think any part of him ever thought he'd see his superior officer trying to sweep this under the rug.
Yeah, making up a cause of death.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too heroic. We don't need a parade. And I love the actor isn't looking at Syril. He's like looking up to the corner as if he's in his own head trying to do the math of nothing too heroic. We don't need a parade, but let's a medium level.
What's the line? Something sad but inspiring in a mundane sort of way, which is just like such a beautiful line that really helps show us how many corners the Empire is cutting. By handing this out to a subcontractor, these corporate employees are doing whatever they have to get by with the minimal involvement of the Empire, which is what Hines kind of lays out, because he says, I'm headed out to this Imperial Regional Command review where if you are ever lucky enough to present this report, you'll see that the goal of this report is brevity, Minimizing the time the Empire spends thinking about Preox Morlana benefits our superiors and, by extension, everyone here at the Praemor Security Inspection Team, which, at the moment, includes you.
I also feel like the conference he's going to is in like the Des Moines Marriott. Like that's the level of conference we're dealing with here.
No, I think he's headed into like the Imperial Court.
Okay.
Like I don't think that these I think these Imperial briefings are happening like in the structures of power because
but I feel like this guy is already so low on the structure level.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that they come because they're on Morlana 1, which is I believe the center of the Morlani system. So I don't think it's happening in Morlana, in the Morlani system. So they're clearly flying somewhere else. It could be happening in the Des Moines Hyatt. But I think it's also likely that they're, this is his chance to fly away to Coruscant.
Yes,
the meeting needs to be brief. So that way we can go out and have fun.
Yes. In the leisure zone.
In the leisure zones. Yeah, I think this is the scene that we're going to really spend this whole episode talking about because there's just so much to get into here. He does say, don't put your feet on my desk in my absence, and let's have an accident report
only my
rating.
feet go on the desk.
Exactly. When you
I've grooved it out with my feet, and don't ruin the groove. If you put them up there, you're going to get rid of the groove. If you sit in my chair, it's perfectly shaped around my buttocks, and if you ruin that by sitting in it.
What do we think about this scene and Syril?
I just noticed that Syril has matching shoes.
Do they not all have matching shoes?
I just noticed the uniform just has really funny sneakers. They're just like a blue with orange soles. They match the uniform. They're a little silly. I mean, the whole uniform is silly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm just imagining that nobody else wears these shoes, and Syril made himself a pair of like Nike Dunks that match the outfit. God, he so fucking sucks. I love him.
Yes, this is maybe one of the best characters on the show. I do want to say Tony Gilroy calls this his favorite scene in the show, and I can totally see why, because it does such a great job of setting up this little petty tyrant of a villain.
I mean, I feel like he is the most realistic character to our current moment. Like, this guy spends too much time on X, the everything app. He is in the manosphere. Like, this is he is the closest analog we have to our modern mini fascist.
Yeah, I think the manosphere is a great reference to pull, because later in the show we're going to see like where he came from and how much of a striver he is to be a great man. But all of the circumstances around him seem to thwart him at every moment. Like, the harder he tries to become a great man, the worse job he does at it, until it all blows up in his face.
We've introduced the concept of space Andrew Tate, which I don't know to understand the ramifications of, but it is now exists as a concept.
If space Andrew Tate exists, Syril is listening to that podcast for sure. But I don't think Syril is anywhere near that level of both influence and, ideological coherence. Like, he is not putting out an ideology there necessarily, so much as he wants to be a cog in the machine.
Well, he's obsessed with the aesthetics of fascism, of fascism, of it being a powerful state, of him being powerful. But just like the structure he's in, there's not much behind the surface. He's presenting an image, but is underneath insecure and not really comfortable with what he's actually doing, and putting up a facade just like the Empire is. There's a presentation of, we are powerful, you cannot defeat us. Meanwhile, these are the kind of guys who are actually running the thing, are these schnooks who just want to get the reports in and leave early on Friday.
Yeah, exactly. He really believes that the Empire, and by extension Praemor, are this totemic, infallible entity, and in this scene is running headfirst into the reality that these are just ordinary people working jobs, that don't want to do their job.
Yeah.
And unlike other, I think the thing that makes him a great character is that rather than become disillusioned by this, like,
he doubles down.
Yeah, he doubles down, exactly. He, in this moment, as soon as he says, don't put your feet up on my desk, you know he is going to come in and just absolutely do everything he can to claw his way into Andor's life.
He's making all of the notes so he can report this guy to someone above him as...
Well, I think that he thinks, as we're going through these episodes, we're going to see what Syril has planned. But I do think he thinks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the guy who killed him. And then when I'm getting my medal for solving this crime, that's when I can out Hein for being lazy and telling me not to do this, and I'm going to get his job. Is, like, I think 100% how he thinks this is all going to go. If not, even just skip his job entirely and get drafted into the major leagues of the Empire. Yeah,
it's so funny to, again, we're talking about the Empire, and then the head of it is Darth Vader, this wizard. This is a funny contradiction of Star Wars, and as much as we love Andor, it's still adding all of this veritas and reality onto a world that has space wizards. But the space wizards are missing, but we know that they're there.
Like, as cartoonish as Trump is, he is not full-on Palpatine, at least as of this recording.
Oh, man. Donald Trump, I'm just laughing at our president.
I mean, if Donald Trump came out looking like Palpatine, it would track for, how this year has gone so far.
I'm just obsessed with the idea of, like, he drops his suit and he has, like, a full Darth Vader, but it's the red MAGA tie. He just has, like, a full Darth Vader suit that's just fully red.
God.
No, I guess I think ironically that is a good metaphor of, we have this proto-fascist state developing in America with just the silliest figure on top.
Yeah.
And those two, it's a contradiction, but it's a contradiction that has existed throughout fascism, of the figure on top of this is silly and ridiculous, but yet people keep buying into the structure around it.
Yes, and in order to enact the horrible, cartoonishly evil ideals of that villain, you need a fascistic bureaucracy that can put the boots on the ground and enact those policies. And in this scene, we see how that imperial bureaucracy is also its own worst enemy, because people advance through this system not by producing results, but rather by subjugating themselves to whoever is directly above them, which is what Hein is doing and what Hein is telling Syril to do. But because Syril is such a pure fascist, he doesn't see himself as subject to the bureaucracy. He sees himself as subject to the Empire.
No, I think Syril is expecting himself to be Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers.
Yes.
He thinks he's gonna walk in and immediately get brought into the Starship Troopers world where everything around him is structured. He's seeing the reality is very different. But he has a Johnny Rico-esque face, and that's how he sees himself, as Johnny Rico.
Yeah, absolutely. He is not quite an Ubermensch, but he thinks he is.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, and that's why he tailors his suit, and why he stands at such formal attention, and why his hair is so, like, perfectly greased back,
Have we talked about him enough?
Can you ever talk about Syril enough?
I mean, we've got just to do some math here. We've got 953 minutes to go of Andor, and there's a lot of Syril left to talk about. So let's maybe leave some stuff on the table.
I think this is this scene has. I think this is, like, the word I'm repeating all the time, but it's painting a picture of this proto-fascist, and in just this one exchange, we have created a villain who we do not know what he's capable of. And the potential in his kind of glare as Hein leaves him in the room tells us that he is going to be a problem, and we're going to see just how bad he gets.
And I think to the credits of the writers and the everyone behind the show, we were at 20 minutes in, and we've already brought in so many characters and so many dynamics, and it's sort of working together seamlessly. We've brought this character in, Cassian's already had sort of a narrative arc already. We're now getting introduced to the villain who has, everything is interlocking really well.
Yeah.
And I think we're sort of seeing that, and it's a kudos to how tight this pilot is.
Yeah, especially in the streaming era of television where it feels like everything has such a delayed integration.
This could have easily been the episode could be an hour long.
Yeah.
And then instead it's a tight 35 minutes, and look how much it's already accomplished in 20.
Yeah, each of these scenes has such a clear purpose while also functioning so well as little chamber pieces,
And so little exposition, which is so refreshing, especially for sci-fi and these things, to not constantly explain themselves.
Yes, the line, just to go back to that line of the goal here is brevity, minimizing the time the Empire spends thinking about Preox Morlana benefits our superiors, tells you so much about where the world these characters live in, without having somebody turn to the camera and say, as employees of Pre-Mor Security, we are all subject to the whims of the Empire, and you better listen to them.
Is our brevity to the benefit of our listeners?
No, absolutely
It's
not.
the opposite, yeah. Our lack of brevity is why the show exists.
But...
Yeah, and we're maximizing the time.
Yes, exactly. We are maximizing this... God.
Are you recognizing how much more we have to record?
No, I love how much more we have to record. Brevity is the enemy of Andorks.
I think that's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah, I do think we should touch on the fact that in the final moments of these 7 minutes, we return to Ferrix, and Andor walks into Bix's garage, where Tim Carlo, working behind the counter, quickly clocks that he's here to talk to Bix Caleen.
Yeah, I want to talk about Tim more, but we'll wait till Tim returns.
Yeah, I think we can really dive deep into this love triangle between the three of them, but we get a bit of their conversation here. The bulk of it being that Andor has come to try to make contact with one of her contacts, but Bix picks up on how Andor looks like he got beaten up. And when Andor says, he got hurt from a fall, she jokes that and asks, "Did you fall into a jealous husband?" Which is another line that is painting such a great picture of what their relationship is. That he is such a fuckboy that she knows, you're always out there, getting beat up by sleeping with people you shouldn't be sleeping with.
Yeah, and I think we also are introduced to Bix in the classic underneath the hull of the car with the mask on. It's sort of it's another very classic George Lucas of 50s working on cars.
Yeah, it's very American Graffiti.
Exactly.
That she's the gearhead that Andor has this complicated relationship with.
I know we want to wrap up, but I do have to bring up the fact that Tim is talking to a few aliens.
Oh, is he?
If you want to go back here,
we can. Yeah, this is our time to talk about.
Yeah,
I
thought this would be next week, so I want to take some time here and just talk about the 3 alien employees. Happening.
So it looks like there's one droid on the left. Looks like a droid.
The droids we don't have to name.
The guy here standing in front of Tim
has some tusks.
Is he a walrus man? And is the guy on the right a Nemoidian?
Let's one thing at a time. Let's slow this down. Let's slow this down.
Okay, yeah, I think. Oh, yeah, he does have tusks,
but he has a little a tuft of hair that reminds me of Neil.
I'm trying to see if. Okay, do you think the guy that he is talking to is a whippet?
No, not even close.
Not that?
No, he's much more. Oh, we can only see him. We don't really see him turn around. This is tough.
Is he an Abednego?
I need to look closer. Maybe. He might be. I think that might be a good call.
Abednego are aliens that were introduced in The Force Awakens, and all of their names, or at least most of their names, are Beastie Boys references.
Oh shit, hell yeah, let's fucking go.
The thing is, I'm looking at the Abednego and they do not really have tusks, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, so if this guy does definitively have a tusk, unfortunately.
Oh, come on. You're telling me there's a Beastie Boys race?
There is a Beastie Boys race. In our first episode, we talked about the scene in The Last Jedi with the parking fines. That guy is also an Abednego.
Okay. What's his name?
I don't remember his name.
What's the Beastie Boys reference?
In that one, Slow and Low is his name.
Incredible.
And then there's other ones like Soa Chuan. Like Soa Chuan.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, they're all because J.J. Abrams is a big Beastie Boys fan.
I think it back Star Wars is good again.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole race of Beastie Boys. Unfortunately, none of them voiced by a Beastie Boy.
Well,
we got to get Ad Rock into the Star Wars universe.
So going back to our undecided alien. I think we can't see his fully face, but we can see that he has a little bit of a velvet cape.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in honor of ensconcing yourself in velvet, I think a nice George Costanza reference.
Sure.
So we're gonna go with how do we alienify Costanza? Costanza. I mean, Costanza is pretty Star Wars.
Oh fuck! There's a fourth alien at the beginning of the scene. I didn't see this guy.
At the beginning of there's a fourth alien?
Yeah, there's a fourth alien. I think it might be. It kind of looks like a Mon Cala.
I thought we were done with this episode, and we've opened a deep vein.
I do. So I know.
I honestly thought this was our next 7-minute group, so I was waiting for this.
No. This episode ends. Our 7 minutes is going to end with Bix asking what it is that Andor has to sell to her secret friend. Is where this 7 minutes.
Okay, so we got to go back to the aliens. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, we don't have to name all the aliens that we see.
We can do it quickly. I'm going to go with 2K's Costanza for our Draped in Velvet.
Okay.
We've got sort of like a ram's head. His head actually kind of looks like the Pokemon Omanite.
Sure.
Wait, is this the same? Is that Jebed? I was just going to Google Jebed Gilko as if that was a name that's established in the lore. Is it the same guy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The guy we named before. The one who looked like he was falling over.
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, let's say it is.
I think it is.
Yeah, let's say it is.
You want to just say it is because you want to wrap up?
Yeah.
You're the one who came up with the idea of the podcast of going deep, and I'm going deep, and you're not appreciating it.
No, I appreciate it. You're right. I can't tell if it's the same guy
I think
not.
It's him. I think that's Jebed Gilko. And then
I think you're right, yeah.
We got another little guy with like a Pope hat.
I'm telling you, that looks like a Nemoidian to me.
I mean, it could be a Nemoidian. Is there a name pattern for Nemoidians?
Well, we have one that is named after Tretlot. So,
God, the politics of the show of Star Wars rules.
And then there's Newt Gunray, which is Newt Gingrich.
So we got to pick a Republican name for him.
Yeah, but like maybe an old one.
2004.
Could we do
House of Representatives list? Come on.
I was thinking like John Bolton. I feel like we could turn that into a Star Wars.
Oh, we got
name.
Hastert. Dennis Hastert.
Oh. No, sure,
I think
let's do it.
We're going in on Dennis Hastert.
Dennis Hastert would be Deno Hasto.
Deno Hasto. We're in. Okay, wrap it up. We're done for the episode.
So we'll say goodbye to Deno Hasto. We're going to say hello to Bix Caleen. And then we're going to say goodbye because this is the end of this 7-minute chunk of Andor. How far are we in now?
We are 21 minutes in. We've got 953 minutes to go.
See, it's already going down.
It's going so fast.
The time is flying by here on Andorks. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week when... What happens next week? We'll see you next week when we get...
It'll be a surprise. It's a surprise. Don't spoil it for the listeners.
You're right. It's a surprise.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.